In Lesson 5-9, we're understanding an algorithm for fraction multiplication. You'll need your whiteboard marker, and that math journal. So let's go ahead with a warm-up. Please, number 1, 2, and 3, you're going to take the number 6 and 140 thousandths and round it to the nearest whole number, the nearest tenth, and the nearest hundredth. Go ahead and pause the video and write down answers only. So number 1, rounded to the nearest whole number, it's closer to 6 than it is 7. Nearest tenth is 6 and 1/10. You can put zeros behind it. You don't have to. Round to the nearest hundredth would be 6 and 14 hundredths, or 140 thousandths. Go ahead and erase your whiteboard, and let's take 586 thousandths, round it to the nearest whole number, round it to the nearest tenth, round it to the nearest hundredth. Go ahead and pause the video. All right, number 1, it is closer to the whole number 1. Here's the ones place, 5 or more, raise the score, 4 or less, let it rest. Number 2, rounded to the nearest tenth would be 6/10. Again, I can put zeros behind it, doesn't change the value. Rounded to the nearest hundredth would be 59 hundredths, or 590 thousandths. Would you go ahead and draw a square, a large one, on your whiteboard? You are going to not work with a partner, but you're going to draw an area model for 3/4 times 2/3. Okay, so remember, we're going to start with 2/3. Let's divide this square into 3 equal sections. Let's shade in 2 out of those 3 sections. Now we're going to take 3/4. So let's divide this into 4 equal parts. And we're going to shade 3/4 of them, but only the parts that are shaded, not the white parts. So 2/4, 3/4. Notice these are white, so I'm not shading this part in. So what is 3/4 of 2/3? Well, the denominator, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 equal boxes. And how many are shaded with 2 colors? Well, that would include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/12. All right, let's move into our math journal. We're going to start on page 179. Page 179. In your own words, describe the method for multiplying fractions discovered in your videos. So, to multiply 2 fractions, you're going to multiply the numerators and write it on the top. Then you're going to multiply. We've been drawing pictures, but when we look at the answer, we're just multiplying the numerators and denominators. Multiply the denominators and write it on the bottom. We've drawn so many pictures to help us understand that. Now it becomes a little bit easier, a little quicker. So let's start with number 2. Use the fraction multiplication algorithm described above to solve problems 2 through 7. Again, if you need more time, just remember, pause the video. So let's multiply straight across. 1 times 3 is 3, and 2 times 6 is 12. Going across, number 3, multiply the numerators. 2 times 1 is 2, and 3 times 4 is 12. Number 4, 3 times 1 is 3, and 5 times 6 is 30. Number 5, 3 times 3 is 9, and 4 times 8 is 32. Number 6, 2 times 4 is 8, 5 times 10 is 50. Number 7, 7 times 2 is what? 14. And those 12s, they expect 5th graders to have those mastered. 9 times 12 is 108. Moving down the page. Whoa, that's way too far down there. Oh, I guess not. Choose one of the problems above and draw an area model for the problem. Explain how it shows your answer is correct. You can choose a different one. I'm going to choose, I think I'm just going to choose number 3. 2/3 times 1/4. 2/3 times 1/4. If you want to do a different one, you just go right ahead. I know that 2 times 1 is 2 and 4 times 3 is 12, but let me prove it. First of all, I'm going to divide it into fourths. I'm going to shade in 1/4 of that. Next, I'm going to take 2/3 of that. So I have to divide it into 3 equal sections and shade in 1/3, 2/3. I'm not shading this because none of this is colored. So 2, and there are 12 equal spaces. Again, pause the video if you're not quite done. For problems 9 and 10, write a number model and then solve. Sheila had 3/4 pound of blueberries. She used 1/3 of them in a fruit salad. How many pounds of blueberries did she use? So she had 1/3 of 3/4 of a pound. Go ahead and put that variable in there. And let's multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3/12 of a pound. Number 10, the mirror in a dollhouse is 2/4 inch wide and 3/4 inch tall. What is the area of the mirror in square inches? So we're going to take 2/4 times 3/4. You know what? Sorry, I should have made that. I'm so used to putting of in there. That should be a multiplication sign. Equals, and I'll put D for dollhouse. Go ahead and multiply the numerators. 2 times 3 is 6. And 4 times 4 is 16. 6/16. Number 11. Ben tried to solve problem 9 and got the answer 4/7. He said, that can't be right because 1/3 is less than 4/7. Do you agree with Ben? So let's go back to 1/3 and 4/7. You don't need to write this down. But remember, we multiplied. He got 4/7. What did he do incorrectly? He didn't multiply the denominators. All right, moving on to page 180. Solving Decimal Number Stories, page 180. Now we're moving. Remember, decimals and fractions are very much related to one another. For each story, write a number model with a letter for the unknown, then estimate and solve. So let's start with Janelle. Number 1, bought milk and bread, including tax. The milk cost $2.68, and the bread cost $3.42. How much did Janelle spend? So we need to know how much in all she spent. $2.68 is closest to $3, and $3.42 is closer to $3 and $4, right? So our answer should be close to 6. Now we need to go ahead and line up our decimal points. First thing I'm going to do is bring my decimal point straight down. And then I'm going to go ahead and add just like I would on other numbers. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry my 1. 1 plus 6 is 7. Plus 4 is 11. Carry your 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. And 3 plus 3 is 6. Now, if I didn't put in the decimal, it would be she spent $610. Would you ever pay $610 for milk and bread? No, so you need to make sure that decimal point is right where it needs to be. Number 2, Gene bought a book for $8.79. He paid with a $10 bill. How much change did Gene get? We're going to start with $10, and guess what? I'm going to put the decimal point with zeros behind it because I know I'll need to do that when I figure out the change, the difference, minus the $8.79 he paid for the book. I'm going to put B for book. All right, $10 minus $8.79 is closer to $9. So we should get back around $1, a little bit more. All right, let's line up those. You don't always need to put that. We know it's dollars, so you don't have to worry about that. In your answer, put it down. Now, we cannot take 0 minus 9, so we're going to go all the way over to the 1. We can only move that 10 over one place at a time. So now borrow it from the ones and add it to the tenths. Now borrow 1 from the tenths and put it in the hundredths. Bring your decimal point straight down. 10 minus 9 is 1. 9 minus 7 is 2. 9 minus 8 is 1. He should get $1.21 in change. Number 3, Harper and Dean raced each other in gym class. Harper ran 100 meters in 14 and 56 hundredths seconds. Dean ran the same distance in 15 and 12 hundredths seconds. How much faster was Harper than Dean? So we're figuring out difference. So we're taking the longer time, 15 and 12 hundredths, subtracting 14 and 56 hundredths to get the difference between the two. To estimate, we would say 15 minus, and I'm going to say 4.5. But it's about a half a second. Not a huge difference in time, especially with such a short distance. Go ahead and let's line up our decimals. Make sure the decimal point lines up, the tenths place lines up, the hundredth place lines up. First thing I'm going to do is bring my decimal point straight down. I cannot take 2 minus 6. I'm going to borrow from the 1 and make that 12 minus 6 is 6. I cannot take 0 minus 5, so borrow from the 5 and make it a 4. Put the 1 in front of the 0 to get 10 minus 5 is 5. How much should he get back? 56 cents. And the last one for today, Diana is using the internet for research. A website showed that it took 51/100ths of a second to do her first search, 26/100 seconds for her second, and 28/100ths for her third. How long did all three searches take? So we're looking for all of the time she spent. So we're going to add together, and sometimes it helps if you just circle the numbers. So 51/100ths plus 26/100ths plus 28/100ths. Now you can do a couple of things. You can add all three up at a time, or add two and then add the third. I'm just going to be really, really careful, and I'm going to do them all at one time, but I'm going to make sure that I have them all lined up. So I have to be really neat and organized with writing them. So I'm going to go ahead and add the hundredths column. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 8 is 15. Carry my 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. Put down my 0. Carry my 1. The answer is 1 5/100 seconds. I forgot to estimate, sorry. This is close to half, 20, think of it as 25/100. So it should be close to 1. Sorry about that. All right, that's it for today.